When you first open Adobe Lightroom, you'll see this welcome screen. This is where you can import photos, organize them into albums, and start editing. Let me walk you through the key features and tools, one by one. To get started, let's add some photos. There are two main ways to do this. Click on Local. Browse your PC to locate the folder containing the images. Select the photo you want to edit from the Flimstrip. For now, I'll quickly apply a basic correction, but we'll dive into detailed editing later. When you're done, you can upload the edited photo to the cloud by clicking Copy one photo to cloud, so you can easily access the photos on any device. To access cloud uploads, click on Cloud. Then click on Recently Added to find the uploaded images. You can also export the photo directly without uploading to cloud. To do that, click on File, and then click on Export to export the image. Next, let's see how to upload directly to the cloud. To do that, click on Cloud. Next, click on Add Photos, and then select your photos to add. Or just drag and drop your files. To keep things organized, create an album by clicking the drop-down next to None. Select New Album. Name it, and click on Create. Uncheck any photos you don't want to include. When ready, click on Add Photos. Now you can find all the photos under Recently Added. You can sort photos by using the first four options under All Photos. If you go to Recently Added, you will find all the files that were recently added. Under Recent Edit, you will find all the files that were edited recently. By date, organized by capture date of the image. People, sorts based on facial recognition. To enable people, click on Enable. Lightroom will analyze your photos, but it may take some time and then organize the photos based on face. To disable it, click on Edit. Now go to Preferences and then go to General. Now disable the feature using the slider and then click Done. The Connections tab. You can add third-party apps for sharing, printing, and more. Under Connections tab, you'll find the Deleted tab. Click on it to find all the deleted images. Lightroom stores any deleted photos for 60 days. So if you want to restore any image, you have to do it before that. To restore a photo manually, click the back arrow. To permanently delete manually, click the trash icon. To restore multiple images, press and hold Ctrl and select all the images that you want to restore. Next, click on the back arrow to restore the images. Similarly, if you want to delete multiple images, press and hold Ctrl and select all the images that you want to delete. Now click the trash icon to delete it. If you want to delete or restore all the images, click on the vertical three dots and select the option you want. To find all your albums, you can click here. And if you have shared any images, they will appear under Shared. Lightroom gives you flexible viewing modes. The first one is a photo grid option, which arranges the image based on its aspect ratio. The second one is the square grid option, which fits the image in a fixed square. Now, to go back to the detail view, click on the single rectangle icon. And if you want everything in a separate window, click on the secondary window drop-down. Now select the view you want, and it will appear on the second monitor. And if you want to close it, simply click on the Close button. To compare two photos, press and hold Ctrl and then select two photos to compare. Then hit the Compare icon. To rate, first select the image, then use the star icons or press 1 to 5 on your keyboard. To flag a photo as picked, click on Picked Flag icon. To flag a photo as rejected, click on Rejected Flag icon. If you want to replace an image in the comparison, click on the image that you want to replace. Now select the new image that you want to compare. To sort photos in the Flimstrip view, click the drop-down beside the 3 stacked lines. Choose your preferred sorting method. If you click 100%, it will zoom in on the images. And if you want to fit the whole image to the viewer, click on the Fit option. And if you want more zoom options, you can click on the drop-down next to 100% and select the required zoom option. Now, if you want to zoom in on a section of the image, press and hold Ctrl. Now, using the left mouse button, select the area you want to zoom. To hide the left panel, click on the Photo button or press the P key on your keyboard. To hide the film strip, click on the Film Strip button or press the / key on your keyboard. Let's begin editing the photos. Here I have a raw underexposed image that was shot on a Sony Alpha ZV-E10. So let's start correcting this image. To do that, click on Presets. Lightroom will now analyze the image and will suggest some presets, from where you can select any one of them. If you click on Premium, you can also find a lot of presets that comes with Lightroom. If you have added any custom presets, you can find it under yours. If you don't find anything under presets, click on Edit to begin manual editing. Under Edit, you can find 3 options. Auto, which uses AI to analyze your image and gives a starting point for the edit. Black and white, if you want to edit your images in monochrome. HDR, if you want to edit images in high dynamic range. Let's skip those for now and continue manually. Next, let's look at profiles. Click on the drop-down next to Profile, from where you can select various profiles as your starting point. If you want to match your camera's exact profile, click on Browse All Profiles and then click on Camera Matching. Next, select a profile that suits your edit. For this edit, I am selecting the standard one. Now let's explore the light panel. Start by adjusting the exposure to get the overall brightness right. If you want to reset any changes you made, double-click on its name. Next, fine-tune the contrast to add depth. Use the Highlights slider to control the brightest areas and the Shadows slider for the darkest parts. Finally, tweak the whites and blacks to set the true extremes of the image's tones. Now, if you want to compare the before and after of an image, you can use the Show Original button, or you can press the / on your keyboard. If you want to compare the before and after of an image side by side, click on the Compare button. Now, click on the Show Original button. Next, click on the drop-down next to Multiple Images, and then select Before and After. Next, let's move on to the Color panel, where we balance the tones and mood of the image. Click the White Balance drop-down to choose a preset. Since this photo was taken under fluorescent lighting, I'm selecting that option. If you observe the image, there is a lot of blue tint introduced to it. Let's fix that using the other 4 controls. By changing temp, you can adjust the overall warmth and coolness, shifting the image towards yellow or blue. By adjusting tint, you balance the green and the magenta tones. Vibrance boosts muted colors while protecting skin tones. Saturation increases the intensity of all colors equally. And here's the before and after. Once you're happy with the color correction, you can copy these settings to apply them to other images shot under similar conditions. To do that, click on the Copy Edit settings. In the pop-up, select the adjustments you want to copy. If this window doesn't appear, click the gear icon and enable the option to show it every time. Then click Copy. Now, hold the Control key and select all the images you want to apply the settings to. Now, click on Paste Edit Settings. Once you're done pasting, click on the Clear Clipboard button. Next, let's look at how to crop and rotate image. Click on the Crop, Rotate, and Geometry icon. Under the Crop section, first, set the crop overlay you need for your image. For this image, the thirds grid works best. To view the overlay, simply hover over the image. Next, set the aspect ratio you prefer. Now, adjust the image position with the slider within the crop frame for better composition. Next, let's see how to rotate or flip the image. Use the first two buttons to rotate the image left or right. Use the last two buttons to flip the image horizontally or vertically. Next, let's explore the advanced geometry options. First, let's reset all the changes made. Now, click on the drop-down button near Geometry. Now you will see an option upright. Click the drop-down next to it. Now, if you select any of these four options, it will automatically adjust the perspective of the image. If you choose Guided, you can manually adjust the perspective by drawing vertical or horizontal guidelines on the image. Next, let's see how to transform an image. First, let's reset all the changes made. Now, click on the drop-down next to Transform. Here, you'll find various tools, including Distortion, Vertical and Horizontal Adjustments, Rotate, Aspect, Scale and X and Y offset. Make sure to enable Constrain Crop to automatically remove any white borders caused by perspective adjustments. For this particular image, I am setting the aspect ratio to 9:16 and the upright position under Geometry to vertical. For now, we are done with this image. So here is the before and after. Next, let's see how to use the Remove tool. For this example, I'll use this image where I want to remove this vertical pole. To begin, click on the Remove feature. Next, select the Remove tool. Next, enable the option Detect Objects. Now, adjust the brush size and paint over the object that you want to remove. In my case, it's this vertical pole. If you accidentally include something you didn't intend to, like I did here, you can use the Subtract option to remove the selection. And if you want to add to the selection, use the Add button. Once you're satisfied, click Remove. Now Lightroom will analyze the image and will give you 3 variations. Now select the variation that you need. And if you don't find any good variations, you can click on Generate again until you find the best variation. Next, let's explore the Reflections tool under Distraction Removal. I'll use this image as an example. Start by clicking the drop-down next to Reflections. Then, under Quality, select Best for the most accurate results. Next, click on Apply. Now Lightroom will analyze the image and remove any unwanted reflections or glare. You can also adjust the amount of unwanted reflection you want to remove using the slider. And here's the before and after. Next, let's see how to remove unwanted people from your image. For this demonstration, I'll use this image. Click the drop-down next to People. Now Lightroom will start analyzing the image and it will highlight all the people who are in the background. If there's someone you don't want to remove, right-click on the blue dot over them and choose Delete. Once you're satisfied with the selection, click on Remove. If the result doesn't look quite right, hover over the image the edited area will be highlighted. Click on that area to view 3 alternate variations. Choose the one that looks best. If you don't find any good variation, click on Regenerate until you find a good variation. Next, let's take a look at the Heal tool. For this example, I'll use this image where we'll try to remove the pimple from the subject's face. Start by selecting the Heal tool. Then, adjust the brush and feather size to suit the area you're working on. Now, paint over the spot you want to fix. Lightroom will automatically analyze and heal the selected area. If there is any mistake, simply press Ctrl-Z to undo. If you want to manually choose the source area for healing, first, select the area you want to heal. Then, hold Ctrl and drag your mouse to pick the source area to copy from. Now adjust the size, feather, and the opacity to make the heal look more natural. Avoid overusing the tool. Doing too much can make the result look unnatural. Continue making adjustments until you're happy with the result. Here's the before and after. Next, let's see how the clone tool works. I'll use this image as an example. First, select the clone tool, then adjust the brush size and feather as needed. Next, select the area that you want to replace. Now, press and hold Ctrl, and then drag the mouse to the location from where you want to clone. Now adjust the size, feather, and the opacity to make the clone look more natural. So here is the before and after. Next, let's see how to fix red eye in photos. I'll use this image as an example. Now, click on the red eye correction button. Next, click on Autocorrect. Lightroom will analyze the image and automatically fix any red eye. If the correction is misplaced, like in this case, you can adjust it manually. Hover over the image to locate the misplaced correction. Then resize and reposition it as needed. You can also fine-tune the result by adjusting the pupil size and darkness sliders. And here's the before and after. Next, let's explore how to use masks in Lightroom. To use masks, go to the Masks tab, where you'll see various masking options. If you want to isolate the subject, click on Subject button. Now Lightroom will highlight the subject in red. Now, use all the available adjustment tools to enhance the image only in that area. To rename the mask, double-click its name and type the new name. To hide or show the mask, click the eye icon. To create another mask, click on Create New Mask. Now, let's say we want to create a mask for the sky. To do that, click on the Sky button. Lightroom will automatically detect and select it. Next, rename it like we did it before for the subject mask. Now, use all the tools available here to enhance the image only in the sky area. Similarly, if you want to create a mask for the entire background, click on Create New Mask. Then click on the Background button. Lightroom will highlight everything except the subject. Now, suppose you want to remove part of a mask. For example, deselect everything in front of the subject. Select the mask layer. Click Subtract and choose the brush tool. Next, adjust size, feather, flow, and density. Now, paint over the area you want to remove. If you make a mistake, select the Eraser tool. Adjust size, feather, flow, and density. Now, paint over the area to bring it back into the mask. Next, let's see how to use the People mask in Lightroom. To do that, click on the drop-down next to People. Now, Lightroom will analyze the image and display any detected faces. Next, double-click on a face, and you'll see a list of selectable body or facial features. For example, selecting hair will create a mask for the hair. Click Create to confirm the mask. Then use the adjustment tools to change its color or appearance. I'm using point color to modify the hair color. A detailed explanation of the point color tool will follow in a later section. You can do the same for other body or facial features. For instance, to change the lipstick color, click on Create New Mask. Now click on People, then click on the detected face. Next select Lips. Click Create to confirm the mask. Now, using the point color tool, change the color of the lipstick. So, here is the before and after. Similarly, you can mask and enhance various parts of the body or face for more targeted edits. Next, let's look at a few other masks available in Lightroom. The first one is the Landscape Mask, which works similarly to the People Mask, but for scenery. To use this, click on Landscapes. Now, Lightroom will analyze the image and detects elements like sky, mountains, vegetation, and natural ground. Choose any of these areas and click Create to generate a mask. Next, you can use any of the adjustment tools to enhance that part of the image which you selected. Similarly, you can create new mask, like I showed before, to target specific area for refined edits. Next, let's look at the Object Mask. Click on the Object Mask. In the Object Mask, we have two selection tools. One is the Brush Selection, and the second one is the Rectangle Selection. First, let's see the Brush Selection. Click on the brush icon to select the Brush Selection tool. Now adjust the size and the amount. Next, start painting over the object that you want to select. Similarly, select the Rectangle Selection tool, and then draw a rectangle around the object that you want to select. And then start enhancing the image using the mask you created. Next, let's look at the Brush Mask. This allows you to manually select any area in the image. To use this, click on Brush. Now adjust the size, feather, flow, and density of the brush. Now, paint over the area that you want to select. After selecting, enhance the image using the correction tools. Next, let's look at the Linear Gradient Mask. This applies edits that gradually fade across the selected area. To use this, click on the linear gradient. Next, select the area that you want to apply the linear gradient to, and then do necessary edits. After applying the edits, you can also reposition or resize the gradient at any time. Next, let's look at the Radial Gradient Mask. This works like the linear gradient but in a circular or oval shape. To use this, click on the Radial Gradient. Next, select the area that you want to apply the radial gradient to. And then do necessary edits. Similar to linear gradient, you can also reposition or resize the gradient at any time. If your mask is not visible, click on Show Overlay. You can also invert the selection by clicking on Invert. The invert function is applicable to all the masks that we have learnt so far. Next, let's look at the Color Range Mask. This is ideal for targeting a specific, isolated color in your image. To use this tool, click on the drop-down next to Range, and select Color Range. Now, click on the color that you want to isolate, and then do necessary edits. Next, let's look at the Luminance Range Mask. This tool is useful when we have a bright section in the image. To use this tool, click on the drop-down next to Range, and select Luminance Range. Next, click on the brightest part in the image. Now adjust the luminance range to adjust the mask area. And then do necessary edits. Next, let's see how to use lens blur in Lightroom to create a bokeh effect. To do this, click on the Edit button and then scroll to the bottom. Now, click on the drop-down next to Lens Blur. Next, check the option Apply. You'll see the background blur instantly applied. To adjust the blur amount, you can use the slider below Blur Amount. You can also choose a bokeh style and effect from the 3 available options. Next, let's set the focus range using the focus range slider. First, select one of the selectors, either subject or the area. Now, if you move the slider towards the far object will be in focus, and nearer objects will be blurred. Similarly, if we move towards the nearer objects will be in focus and the farther objects will be blurred. If you want more control, enable the option Visualize Depth. The yellow color means the objects are nearer, and blue color represents the farther object. Now adjust the position and size of the slider. When the selection turns white, that means it is in focus and everything else will be blurred. Now disable the Visualize Depth to check the result. To refine the blur or focus, click on the drop-down next to Refinement. Now select Focus to refine the focus area. Then set the brush size, feather, and the flow. Now paint over the area you want to refine the focus of. Next, select Blur to refine the blurred area. Now, follow the same steps we did for the focus area. Next, let's see how to use effects to enhance this image. To access the effects, go to the Edit tab and scroll down to find the Effects section. Click on the drop-down next to Effects to view all the features. Let's apply these effects to this image. First, activate the mask that we created earlier in this video. Select the mask layer. Then go to Effects. Start with Texture. Sliding to the left will soften the image, while sliding to the right will enhance the details. Next is Clarity, which sharpens the edges. Moving the slider to the left softens them, while moving it to the right increases edge contrast. Then comes Dehaze. Sliding left adds simulated haze, and sliding right removes haze from the image. Finally, Grain. Moving the slider to the right adds grain to the image, while moving it to the left removes it. Next, let's see how to fix distortions and aberrations using lens correction. To do this, go to Edit and scroll down to the Optics feature. Click on the drop-down next to Optics. Enable the option Enable Lens Correction. Click on the camera icon to add your camera. Select your camera using the 3 available options, or click Auto Select. Then click OK. Next, let's see how to remove chromatic aberration. This usually appears in images with bright light and sharp edges. Sometimes it's not noticeable at first, but if we zoom in, we can find it. For example, if I zoom in on this area, you can see a green border. This is chromatic aberration. In some cases, it can also appear purple. To remove it, go to Edit and scroll down to Optics. Click on the drop-down next to Optics. Enable Remove Chromatic Aberration. Now if you observe, most of the green line has been removed. If you want to refine it further, click on the Defringe drop-down. Now, select either purple or green based on the chromatic aberration. Since my image shows green aberration, I'm choosing green. Next, click on the color picker icon. Now click on the green fringe in your image. When you properly select the fringe, the circle will turn purple. To refine the selection, adjust the amount and color range sliders. Here is the before and after. Next, let's see how to remove noise from an image. To remove noise, click on Edit. Scroll down to Detail and click on the drop-down. Enable Denoise. Now, using Amount, Sharpening, and Manual Noise Reduction, fine-tune your noise adjustments. Here is the before and after. Next, let's see how to fine-tune colors using point color. To do this, go to Edit and scroll down to Point Color. Click on the drop-down. Next, click on Select a color in the photo and choose a color that you want to enhance. Select the color range or shades that you want to enhance using the Range slider. Adjust the hue and saturation from the large rectangle. Then, adjust the luminance shift. Here is the before and after. Next, let's see how to use the color mixer. With the color mixer, you can control and enhance individual colors in your photos. To use it, click on Edit and scroll down to Color Mixer. Click on the drop-down next to Color Mixer. Click the drop-down next to Adjust. Select what you want to adjust, for example, saturation. Now, use the color sliders to improve your image. For this image, I want to improve the saturation of the blue color, so I am adjusting the slider for blue. Adjust these sliders according to your needs. Similarly, you can select other adjustments to enhance the image. Next, let's see how to stylize the look of the image using the color grading tool. With color grading, you can add tints to your shadows, midtones, and highlights. To use color grading, go to Edit and scroll down to Color Grading. Click on the drop-down. Now, using these tools, grade your shadows, midtones, and highlights. You can also change the tones globally. Now using these, enhance the image to your liking. While using these tools, avoid overdoing it. Here is the before and after. One thing I forgot to mention earlier in the video is curves. Curves give you control over the contrast of the image, as well as its tonal range. To access curves, click on Edit. Under Light, you will find the Curves option. Click on the drop-down to access all the color channels. I have this image where the red is dominating the entire scene. Let's use curves to bring it to a more natural look. First, let's add some green and blue to balance the image. To do this, click on green, then adjust the curve. Next, adjust the curve for blue. Since there is still a slight red tint, reduce it using the red curve. Now, fine-tune the image using the red, blue, and green channels until you achieve a satisfactory result. Next, adjust the point curve to brighten or darken your image. Then, adjust the parametric curve to enhance the shadows, darks, lights, and the highlights. With more refining, we can make this picture look much better. Here is the before and after. One final thing. At any time, if you want to see more details about the image, click on the I button or press the I key on your keyboard. Here, you can find all the details about the image. That's it for this video, guys. If you have any doubts, leave a comment below. I'm happy to help. If you found this video helpful, consider supporting the channel by subscribing, sharing, and liking the video.